Flosstube. It's Lily at 42 Stitches here for Flosstube video number 20. I really should look these up before I start these videos, but I usually start these videos so in the moment. There's really not a lot of preparation going on here. Welcome if you're new to my channel. Welcome back if you're a subscriber or an occasional passerby. I'm going to try and do this quick just because the baby's down for a nap and I gotta do it before she wakes up. It's been a very long time since my last video. There's been a lot that has happened, both stitchy and personal, but I'm gonna just try and do abbreviated version because there's just no time. The biggest thing that has happened personally since the last video, I think we had my son's birthday party, and my birthday at the same time. His birthday is the day before mine, but it was his birthday party, so that was fun hosting that here at the new house with the family. The weather wasn't in our favor. It was kind of rainy, and then it was sunny, and then it was rainy, it was sunny, so we had to do it indoors versus outdoors, but worked out fine. But the biggest thing was 2 Mondays ago when I got a call from daycare saying that my son fell off some playground equipment. Go down there, he's not moving his arm, it's slightly swollen. We go to the doctor, which is just down the road from daycare. She checks it out. She's not sure if it's broken or if it is just popped out of its socket. And if it's broken, we might have to go to Yale, which is 45 minutes away, versus the hospital, which is right there, just because they have pediatric specialty bone doctors. Since he's so young, I guess depending on the break, you might want to go to a specialist versus what we have down here. So of course I'm freaking out, trying to keep it together. Husband meets me down at the ER because we had to go to get x-rays. It was broken right on the bottom of his humerus, the long upper arm bone, right above his elbow, kind of a crescent shaped going up like that. Didn't hit the growth plate, so we're good with there. They had to put in 2 pins, and he's in a splint. He's going to be in a splint until the Monday before Thanksgiving. Then they're going to pull out those pins, and then he should be okay. Obviously, keep him home from daycare when they take that off, because he'll be still a little vulnerable before he goes straight back. He's at daycare now, finally. First day back was yesterday. We've been keeping him home either with grandparents or, you know, me going in at work in the morning and my husband staying in the morning, and then I come home at lunch and he goes to work, and just been managing it decently. Anyway, so they pull out those pins, apparently, because the pins are actually like sticking out of his arm. And they can do this in the office, apparently, where they just distract the kid and they get some pliers and just yank them out. I don't do well with this stuff. For those of you in the medical industry who totally have no problems with this, kudos to you, because medical is not for me. But since he's so young, the doctor recommended we actually do this at the hospital so they can sedate him a little bit. So Monday before Thanksgiving, we're going to have to do that. And we're hosting Thanksgiving this year, so that's going to be a fun week. I'll have my mom come down that week and just help with, you know, pampering him a little bit, because I'm sure he's going to be, at least that day, kind of in and out of it. And then the rest of the week just to stop him from jumping off the couches, as a 3-year-old tends to do. He's doing really good right now. He actually was doing really good the day after. He's just moving around like nothing, adapted really well to having a splint in his arm. He's moving his hand and using it and jumping around and all that stuff, giving me heart attacks. He's just been on Motrin and Tylenol for the first few days, and he hasn't been on anything since then. He's doing fine, so yeah. That was scary. I'm going to move quickly just because, again, I don't know how much time I have with the baby sleeping right now. So I just brought everything out onto the couch because I just don't know what I'm going to talk about. It's going to see what the mood strikes. I do have a couple of notes that I wrote down. I think it's more just other Flosstuber kind of stuff, not necessarily. I do have some time stuff. Oh, did I? I left it over there. Hold on a second. I'll be right with you. The video is already interrupted. Okay, so I'm going to want to talk about that. Put that there. So I've been stitching a lot. Oh, okay. So where do I start? Some other somewhat personal, but also definitely cross-stitching related. I entered my first pieces in a local fair and I won. Oh, I was so excited. One of them I was the only entry, so I don't really count that one. But it was 3 pieces, and I don't have them here right now, or their ribbons, just because this was so long ago and they were lingering around the house. I've hung them up already and done all that, and I didn't feel like taking them down for the video. But if you look at my Instagram photos, it's one of them in there has all of them that have the ribbon on it, and it was the Castle by Teresa Wentzler, first place. It was the little owl pillow that I made for my daughter, also first place. That was the one that was the only cross-stitch pillow that was submitted, so I don't really count that one. And then the other one was Coffee Quaker, also got first place, so I was very excited about that. There wasn't a whole lot of other entries either, so I do wish there was more. I almost wish that I had not gotten first place and there was more entries than if I had gotten first place, if that made any sense, that sentence. You know, just because the competition is nice. If it's just given to you by default, then it's sort of like, well, thank you, but it's because it's the only one that was entered. The other ones had other entries, but you know, it wasn't that many. So so the hunt is on this next year, I guess, to find a fair that has a lot more entries to submit some things. So I think there's a couple of ones that I know that will be bigger, and I'll submit them to that. So that's it with that. Other Flosstube stuff. Oh, New Jersey cross-stitch Flosstube retreat. Who's in on that one? I am. I'm so excited about that, guys. It's close. My mother-in-law's nearby, so we can easily just come down for a visit, or, you know, my husband and the kids can, and I'll go down. I thought it was Mother's Day weekend for like a couple of days, and my husband and I were trying to figure out what we were gonna do. Like, for me, it's fine, just let me go, and we'll do Mother's Day another weekend. But if we're in New Jersey, obviously we have to do something with my mother-in-law for Mother's Day, and we were trying to figure out what we were gonna do. But I realized, or someone on the retreat Facebook group woke me up and said, no, it's the weekend after Mother's Day, hun. So again, we've been really tired and busy and out of it, and life has been chaotic. This has been the most chaotic year I've ever had. I want to say I'm ready for it to be over, but I'm not really, because it's not like it was a terrible year, because Amalia was born, which was amazing, and we got this new house, which is amazing. But, you know, my kid also broke his arm, and the move here was very traumatic, living out of a moving truck, and just, I think I'm just ready for the rest of the year to be boring. Of course, the second half of the year is never boring because of all the holidays, but anyway. So, Flosstube retreat, I am so excited. So, I'm going, I think I'm gonna come down, might come down Thursday night, stay at my mother-in-law's, and then just pop on down to the hotel Friday and stay Friday night, Saturday night, and then we'll see what Sunday is all about. How late I'm going to stay, that is, versus having to go back up and hang with the family. So we'll see. Very excited. Let me know if you're coming too, down there. Comments, yay. Okay, to the cross stitching quickly. I'm going to go backwards just because that's how my memory is working right now. So last night, I had not started this in my last video, because I just started it. When did I start it? Let's see. This is the only one that I have any notes on my stitching. I started this October 24th, and it took me 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 hours to make total. Finished it last night. And I'm a little far from the camera. I'm trying a new setup. And that is Calavera Morada, or Purple Sugar Skull, or just skull really, but by Mill Hill, for the Day of the Dead, which is today. Happy Day of the Dead. And this is my first big beading that I've ever done. I've done just like a couple of beads that was in my Santa stocking for my son, Santa train stocking. And I don't know if you could see in the lighting and with the camera, but look, he is sparkly. He is so rad and colorful, and he needs a name. I don't know what yet. I gotta come up with that. But yeah, he's cool. So I gotta iron out the ring, And I have him on, this is just a piece of 14 count Aida. And the thought process for him is to fit him into this coffin. So on like some mat board, let's see if I can kind of give you an idea. And a little bit of batting. This is not going to look very good, but he's going to kind of fit in here like that. And then I'm going to put like a little votive candle down here and then get like some marigolds and just glue them up. Because from all my internet researching, marigolds are the primary flower that is used in Mexico when they make the little shrines for the dead. Their family members when they go visit the graveyards and stuff. Correct me if I'm wrong, Johnny, if you're watching. Any info you have on the Day of the Dead is greatly appreciated. They do celebrate Day of the Dead also in Ecuador. So my mother-in-law who came last weekend, she brought us colada morada, which is this purple drink made out of purple corn and berries and various spices like cinnamon and allspice and clove. It's really delicious. And they have these little breads, they're kind of like a sweet bread, that are in the shape of a baby. I don't know why they're in the shape of a baby, but they are. And you eat those. So we've had that for breakfast already this morning with my unnamed friend. And they don't really do the shrines and all that like I think they mostly do in Mexico. They do, they might maybe more in the mountains, but not in the coast as much, whereas where my mother-in-law is from. My father-in-law is from the mountains, but I don't know. I don't know that much. I should find out more though. Yeah. I know about colada morada though. We have that every year. So yeah, Johnny, if you got any more info for me of how I can decorate that coffin, I'd appreciate it. I might do a little bottle of tequila in there too. It's a little thought. Little tequila, little votive candle. Do not light the votive candle with the tequila next to it. Especially if I'm displaying it in the house. Probably won't light it at all with all the fabric and whatnot around it. And then like some various marigolds and whatever flower I can find that's similar to it. It might be just whatever in the fabric store I find that I like. But any other ideas of traditional Day of the Dead symbols, traditions, let me know and I can try and incorporate it into that piece. I think it'll be a fun piece to bring out around Halloween and for Day of the Dead. Obviously not this year, it's a little late, but that's okay. Speaking of Johnny, have you guys seen her Renaissance mermaid? It is stunning. I love her idea of doing the specialty stitches in the hair. It's beautiful. I actually got that pattern too. I went up to my LNS a while ago and I saw her and she was beautiful, and I didn't get her because I thought I got enough mermaids. I haven't even started one. So I got some other things. I went home. I immediately regretted not getting it. So I went back the following week, I think, and I bought it. So she's in one of these boxes waiting for me to work on her someday. Someday. That's my stitching motto. The Tick had a spoon as his war cry. Mine is someday. Anybody know the Tick? Yeah, old cartoon. Not that old, but. So we got that. So Priscilla and Chelsea, which everyone has been talking about for a while now. Again, I haven't done a video in a while. They are what I've been waiting for ever since like last year that I found Stitch Mania and Flosstube community. I've kind of like half-asked a few times in posts for ideas of how to finish things other than framing. Because I don't want to frame all of my cross stitch. It's just not my aesthetic to necessarily frame a whole bunch of stuff on the wall. I like some of it on the wall, just not a lot on the wall. Or maybe just like one area would be like a cross stitch gallery, but not all over the house. So I needed more ideas of how to finish things so that I can put them up throughout the house, throughout the year, seasonally. So, you know, Priscilla and Chelsea, you guys are helping me out here with the inspiration. So check them out. Obviously, everyone's already checked them out. I don't even have to say check it out. Let's see, before I get into more cross stitching, what else? Oh, Mary Rose at Stitch Bliss Corner, she did a floss tube for me, and I was so excited. I had requested a while back for her to look into Portuguese cross stitching. Embroidery is a big thing in Portugal. I knew that. crocheting is definitely a big thing in Portugal. My mom crochets like crazy. But I wanted to know a little bit more about cross stitch specifically in Portugal, if she can dig anything up on that. Not just embroidery in general, which is beautiful embroidery work, surface embroidery, but if there's more on cross stitching other than just, I don't know, it's just general cross stitching, if there's anything special. I knew about the areolas, which I had mentioned to her and she went into in her video, and that's sort of like rug work and runners that you put on the floor that's done in a cross stitch. It's not exactly a cross stitch, it's kind of similar to a cross stitch, and obviously it's a more durable wool that's used for the floss on canvas, because you're making carpets out of this. And so she did a nice little piece on that, and I wanted to just publicly thank her again for doing that. I very much enjoyed that. And it was interesting how I brought it up to her about, you know, it's beautiful work, and you can't imagine sometimes someone stepping on something that you've spent so much time with. And I've heard it with other floss tubers in the community about wanting to, you know, you make a cross stitch piece that you worked so hard on, and then you don't want to turn it into a pillow, or if you do, no one's going to be leaning on that. And I understand that. I have a lot of pieces, or I've had some pieces, I should say, that I felt that way, that I want to keep them more protected. They're a little more precious. But a lot of other pieces that I do, I just don't feel that precious about them. I love them. I know the work that I put into it. I don't want to see it destroyed. But I just grew up in a house where my mom crocheted a lot of stuff and embroidered a lot of things, and it was used daily. She had like the doilies on the back of the couches and on the tables, and pillows that she would make all the time, and the sheets that I slept on, she embroidered things on them. And that's just part of my everyday existence growing up, is those things being used. Now, you treat them with respect, of course. It's not like you're ripping and tearing at them and spilling things haphazardly on them. If something happens to spill on it, then, you know, you clean it and you do the best you can with all that. But they're used. These are things that are to be used, and you just happen to decorate them because you want the things that you use on a daily basis to look nice. Does that make sense? I don't know if I'm making sense. So, you know, I look at a cross-stitched pillow or embroidered or in any other fashion, surface embroidery or crocheted or whatever, and I don't think twice about leaning up against it. Or anyone else leaning up against a piece that I made, because that's what it's there for. It's a pillow for someone to lean up against, and I just wanted to make it pretty. If it's something that I really, really love, like there's the Virland sampler that I wanted to try to make. Did I talk? I think I put it on Instagram. I'm not going to pull it up now because I don't know where it is, but it's this beautiful reproduction sampler. It's done on a nice linen, and it uses silks. Obviously, you can use whatever you want, but I'm planning on using silks on it. And it's this big, beautiful, intricate piece. Because I'm going to be using silks on it, and it's going to be a bigger piece that takes a lot more work, and I'm probably going to be more precious about that. I'm going to hang it up somewhere where it's not going to get leaned up against and used and all that stuff. But like the owl pillow I made for Amalia, it's in her pack and play in her play yard over there, and she drools all over it. It's fine by me, you know. My son tosses it around. He probably gets stuck on things. Nothing's come off of it. We're okay. It's fine. I don't know. What else? I think that's about it. Oh, Taryn, I got some glove box confessionals for you. So I wrote them down so that I wouldn't forget. I thought about it, because you keep asking people to do them, and you know what? I enjoy hearing yours, so we should just get things off of our chest. I don't have a bra story to get off my chest, as you did, but I've got 3 of them on here. So the first one is, I don't backstitch. No. I have backstitching on my pieces, absolutely, but I don't technically backstitch, whereas the needle goes up and then you go back and then you go forward a stitch and then you go back and you go forward. I do a double running stitch. So I do a stitch, I skip one, I do a stitch, I skip one, I do a stitch and skip one, and then I come back and do this one that I skipped. Now I'm sure the cross stitch purists out there will tell me why this is wrong, and the line probably doesn't come out as straight and all that business, but you know what? It's easier, it's faster, it's a little bit more conservative on floss. Not that I'm really that concerned about being that conservative on floss. And it's just how I do it. Mostly because it's faster and easier, and I think it looks fine. So that's my first confession. Confession number 2. Amalia stole a bottle of water from the grocery store. I'm blaming her for it. It's absolutely her fault. This was within her first months of life. Put her inside of the grocery cart in her car seat, and you throw things around in the grocery cart as best you can, and then you go and check out. You know, take everything out, buy. And then by the time I got to the car, 1 bottle of water rolled under her car seat, and I didn't pay for it, and I didn't go back to pay for it because it was less than $1. So yeah, that's Amalia's fault. She stole a bottle of water from the grocery store. And then my last and biggest confession is, so this was when I was in high school maybe, or maybe home from college, sometime around then. It was a Sunday. We were going to church, my parents and I. And on the way to church, I ran over a squirrel. It is the first and only time I ever ran over another creature. And I was pretty traumatic about it at the moment. Freaking out a little bit. My dad sitting next to me just looking at me like, it was a squirrel, it's fine, just keep going, because that's my dad. Me, I'm freaking out about it because I just killed an animal. And he's like, just keep going, let's get to church. So I drive back to church, go to church, which is not that far. And I have to sit through Mass, having known that just a few moments later, I killed one of God's creatures. So talk about Catholic guilt, right? So there it is out in the world. I killed a squirrel. My daughter and I stole a bottle of water, and I don't backstitch. That one's not too much of a confessional, but it's the only thing I could think of, so I think we're done with this. All right, let's look at more cross-stitching, right? So I don't know about you guys. Let me do a baby check. Yeah, she's okay. So I don't know how you guys store things, but I store things in these like boxes that you get at the craft store. And I have 3 of them. This one is for my whips. What does it say? It says, enjoy the little things, which I think is super appropriate. I have this big Mama Jamba, which is full of my charts. I got manila folders there that have them kind of organized. It says, laugh as much as you breathe, love as long as you live. And again, that whole live, laugh, love thing is kind of overdone and maybe feels a little trite at times, but I do think it's a good mental state. So I do try and think about that pretty frequently. There's even a cross-stitch piece that I've shown you guys in the past that says live, laugh, love. And I do intend on cross-stitching it and putting it in the house somewhere because I just think that's a general good thing to remember and for our family to think about. Not that you can't ever be sad or anything like that, but you know, life is long and hard. You gotta enjoy and appreciate things as much as you can, because it's gonna throw things at you left and right that are gonna be hard, and you're not gonna make it through it if you sink too deeply into the sad. Sometimes you have to. I understand that, and I've done it myself. You get sad, things happen, and you have to go through that feeling. But in general, live, laugh, love. I do think those are things that we should strive for when we can, of course. And then the last box I have here is my fabrics. Wild and Wonderful is what it says. And again, I'm not going to pull everything out, but it's mostly fabrics. It's got a couple of things like some frames that I can finish things in. There's like a box and stuff. So speaking of fabric, I did have my first go at coffee dyeing. And that's this puppy right here. And I don't know how well it's going to come off. Oh yeah, it's pretty good, I think. I really love it. And so it didn't come out as dark as I had wanted to. I knew from seeing other videos, people say it's going to lighten up a lot after you've rinsed it out. And I didn't do the baking, which I think sets it a little bit more. But I'm still really happy with how it came out. So I'm going to cut off a chunk of this and do a coffee piece for my husband's cousin, who, when I posted on my personal Facebook page the framed up coffee Quaker, she loved it and wanted me to make a piece for her. She offered to buy it off, if I could make one and then buy it for her, not buy the one I had made already off of me. So after I finished laughing to myself, I informed her how it took me 50 hours to do, and she immediately was like, "Oh no, don't do it if it takes 50 hours." So I told her, well, I'll try and still make something for you. I mean, I enjoyed doing this, and I'd be happy to make something for you free of charge. I wouldn't charge her because it's family. So I'm going to cut off a piece and do that for her. It's actually for her boyfriend. She's up in Canada, in Toronto, and her boyfriend owns a coffee roasting company up there, and she wants to give it to him as a gift for his office / company / I don't know if it's an actual shop where you can drink coffee like a cafe, or if it's just roasting I'm not sure, but anyway, it's for him to hang up there. So I'm not doing it on 40 count linen like I did on the other one. So this is just a 24 count piece of Monaco that I dyed. It was originally white, and then I dyed it with the coffee. And so I'm going to steal bits and pieces of the coffee Quaker, but it won't be an exact replica. So I'm going to just reorganize the words in the middle that says, "First I drink the coffee, then I do the things," and then take a couple of the motifs and just work it around. An edge, maybe make it just a 10 by 10 size, whatever fits in a 10 by 10 area. Put in the motifs that are on the edges. If you remember coffee Quaker, it's in here somewhere. I'm not digging it out, sorry. We can go look at it in a minute. Once I'm done, we can go that way. Take you on a little mini tour. So I'm going to do that soon. Actually, probably most of November is going to be working on that. I've already charted out the words on another graph piece of paper, taking the words from the other pattern and kind of rearranging it how I want to do it. And then I might just wing it with the other motifs instead of actually graphing it. Just we'll see what happens. So I wanted to first finish the sugar skull, which today I'm going to go out to the craft store in Joann's with the girl when she wakes up this afternoon and get a few things for that and for my son's stocking, because I'm going to try and finish the coffin between today and tomorrow. And then this weekend, my mom is going to be here, and she's much better seamstress than I am, so I'm going to have her work with me on trying to finish up my son's stocking, because I did finish that, and I don't think I showed that in my last video. When did I finish this? Hold, please. Oh no, you guys fell. You majorly fell. Okay, hold on. There we go. Totally fell off the table in my excitement and quickness to get this. Okay, so let me see. When did I finish? This is my cross stitch notebook. This is where I log my stuff, and basically I just log the hours that it takes me to do things. So I finished it October 6th is when I finished it, and it was a grand total. Did I not do the grand total of hours? I have not done the grand total of hours, have I? Oh, I did. Hold on. So it took me a total of 117.25 hours to do this. I started it January 1st, working not every single day, but working it from January 1st until October 6th, 117.25 hours. So here it finally is. And again, if you follow me on Instagram, Instagram is kind of the most active for me if you want to really keep up, because doing a Flosstube video these days, getting it done is just, it's a lot of work. And I don't have a lot of time. I'll get a little closer so you can see. By the way, have you checked out my shirt yet? It kind of looks like just a geographic design or like a fun swirl, but if you get closer, they're bugs. You see that? Every single one is a bug. Got my bug shirt on. Felt appropriate for Day of the Dead. So, here we go. It's done. And you can see I cut out a chunk for his name there, but we got to cut out the shape. Look at that village. Isn't it beautiful? I love it. I got those little snowflakes on there. That train, that beautiful red. Hi, Santa. I love how that smoke looks coming out of the stack and on the bottom. Those ribbons flying. A few beads in the front there on the wreath if you see it. I love this stocking. So basically what the plan is, so cut it out in a stocking shape, of course. That's my little stitchy signature down there, by the way. Do you see that? I've always wanted to like a fun design for my initials, and that's what I came up with a couple months ago at this point. Love it. It's gonna get cut off. That was just me playing with it, and that's where I had just grabbed a piece of fabric to practice on. But anyway, so we're gonna cut out the stocking shape, and then what's his name? Tobias. Excuse me. I need a break, guys. I need a vacation. So I'm gonna sew it on right there, but in that seam, I'm gonna get some cording. I'm gonna try and get some cording today, hopefully. That's also kind of that same red, like a red and gold twisted cording. Obviously twisted, it's cording. And then the back I want to have in a red velvet, kind of a dark red like this. And then just some red lining on the inside, or maybe white, because I don't know if the red would show through on this. I might get one of each. Actually, I think my mom left me some red lining material because she thought she had some velvet that I could use, but it was too much of a pink red. But she did find some red lining material in her stash. So I think she brought it. I'll have to look before I leave today. So I'm excited about that. We're gonna try and finish this puppy up this weekend. My mom is gonna be here tomorrow. She's watching the daughter, so I can go into the office for the day to make up for Tuesday when we had to take it off for my son's doctor's appointment. And so she's coming in to watch the girl, so I don't have to take her to daycare an extra day that she normally doesn't go. And then she's just staying for the weekend, or just for Saturday, I think she is. Okay, so that's done. Okay. And then once I finish the stocking, so hopefully the coffin, it might not get done today. I got the girl today and maybe tomorrow, I don't know. But we're trying to finish the coffin and the stocking before the weekend is out. So both of them, if I can do that. And then I can focus on that coffee piece. And I'll just do that for the rest of November. And then we're into the Christmas time, and I'm gonna wanna do Christmassy things. And then this piece needs some work also. I have not touched it in a while. And it is my Travel Through Europe free sale by DMC, Portugal. Spain is doing it too, DMC Spain, probably some other ones. But so I think you guys had seen where last time I was up to there, and then a couple weeks ago I had done the border and the banners, and that's it, which is kind of boring, but at least they're done and it's ready to go. And these are the only two charts that are not released yet, and that's Madrid and Rome. And once those come out, then I can do that. But I mean, all of these are ready to go. What is it? It's Paris, Berna, Vienna, Lisbon, and again I have them written in Portuguese, so not Lisbon, it's Lisboa. Paris is the same, it's just pronounced different. Paris, Paris, and so on. Vienna, same thing. Only some of them really change, like London is Londres. But anyway, so that'll be for my son to hang on his wall. And I'll probably get some sort of blue material. It would be really cool if I can find a blue, like passport stamped fabric. If I can find that and then do like a, you know, I don't know, maybe like a 2-inch all around, and then the whole back, of course. I think that would look super cute. But we'll burn that bridge when we get to it. Let's just try and get the thing stitched. My high school chemistry teacher used to say that, and it still amuses me to this day, so I say it. A combination of, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it, and don't burn your bridges after you cross them. So we'll burn that bridge when we get to it. I'm sure that's not the first time you've heard that. I'm sure others have said that too, but it amuses me. Okay, so I keep hearing sounds from the monitor. I don't know if she's starting to wake up, so I'm trying to go fast. Where are we at? 35 minutes. That's a pretty decent sized video. Okay, so we did that. I think that's it for what I did and planned. Oh, I think it's just finishing stuff. So maybe I'll take you guys around and show you some of the finished pieces that I have down here. Yeah, did that one, this one. That's good. I mean, again, you'll see a lot of stuff on my Instagram. Put things on my personal every once in a while, and on Stitch Mania, on Facebook that is, every once in a while. Thoughts about Facebook. Like, I've got 2 people in the stitching world that I've befriended on my personal Facebook page. Not that I want everybody on there, because that's, I don't know, it's such a personal thing. So don't take offense to it if you found me somehow and I don't accept your friend request. It's probably just because I don't feel like I know you enough. But there's 2 people that, one friend requested me and I friend requested the other, and that's it. But I feel like there's so many more out there that I've watched your videos and I kind of want to get to know you more. But I feel like a total creep too if I like friend request you. And I wouldn't feel offended if you denied it too, but I still would feel like a creep if I was like, hey, I've seen your videos on YouTube and you don't know anything about me probably, or very little, but hey, you want to be friends and let me into your personal world? So that feels a little weird. Although there's some, not everyone, but some that I feel like I know a little bit more from their videos, that if they friend requested me, like one of them did, I'd feel comfortable with it. It's a weird thing. I don't know. Thoughts about that? Put it down there. Okay, so did I get any more patterns? I don't know. Did I have any stash additions? If I did, they are all mixed up in here now. I think I showed you the mirrors. I got the Snow Queen somewhat recently, and I got the Lavender and Lace Celtic Christmas recently. I was organizing the other day, and that was the video that I was gonna do 2 weeks ago. I tried to do a video. I did do a video. I was organizing my stash, and I did a video where you just looked at my stuff and I just kind of went through everything, and I was putting them in organization, you know, like in folders, and kind of keeping them categorized. And YouTube refused to upload it, so I just scrapped the whole thing. And then I was supposed to do a Flosstube video the next day, like one of these regular update ones, but life happened. And then the week after that, my son broke his arm, so that's why we're only doing this now, along with other life things. So if I did get anything new, I probably just put it in those folders, and now I can't remember. It's not like they're still on the top of my mess where I'm like, oh yeah, I recently got this and I can pull it out. So I did get fabric for, oh, okay, so let's go for a walk. Disclaimer, my house, I have an infant and a toddler. Be kind. It's not organized at all. We still don't have anything on the walls. It's still very minimally decorated. There's baskets of laundry over there that are clean and folded. They're just not put away for, I don't know, 4 days now. Okay, we're going for a walk. I'll show you a few things. And hopefully I do not make you guys sick. No curtains. I hate curtains. I want curtains on there because I think it needs it, but I hate picking out curtains, so there's still no curtains. This whole area here, basically, that whole sofa and that corner over there, you can see a red bag. That's where my floss is. Hello, laundry. This is my stitching area. So I generally sit over here while my husband hangs out on the couch over here at night watching TV. And this is where I stitch. You see my coffee cup. But I keep all of my cross-stitching items over here. So those boxes that are on the couch with me right now. Oh, hopefully you hear me. I think I had my hand over the sound. Hopefully that didn't muffle it too much, but that's over there. This is one of the best birthday cards I've ever gotten from a friend. It's got little dinosaur puppets that my son plays with now. It is for me. This is an actual card for me, not my son, but of course my son plays with it more than I do, but probably equal measure, me and him playing with them. So yeah, isn't that the greatest? Okay, Purell because it's cold season and I have children. Still doesn't do anything, but there's my little stitchy spots down there. So now we move to the fireplace mantle, and this is where the magic is going to happen, I think, over the years of where I'm going to do things. That photo of my husband and I when we got married. Yeah, look at that waist. I had a waist. So I can actually hang that up, and then I want to get a little bit higher and then get a photo of my son and a photo of my daughter there. There's my orchid that started dying because it was getting too much sunlight next to the kitchen window, so we're putting it here to reduce its sunlight. I've never had an orchid. Am I supposed to be cutting this business, or do I leave this going? I should probably look that up. The bloom did fall once already, and then I got it to bloom again, but it has not bloomed in a while, so we moved it over here to see if that helps. Those are just some anniversary cards, little Ecuador pieces. But here we go. Here is what I actually came here to show you. Oh, here's one of my ribbons. Which one's this one? Oh, this one's for the owl pillow. Yay! First place, Portland Agricultural Fair. These were the first roses my husband ever gave me. Yeah, I'm sentimental and a dork. Yes, so here, you've probably seen it already as I've passed by it, but this is my... oh goodness, what is it? Not Country Cottage, it's, drawing a blank. The seasonal celebrations, is it Country Cottage? Yes, Country Cottage, seasonal celebrations, autumn. So I finished it, and it was just, again, some mat board, a little bit of batting, a bit of glue, wrapped it up. I had this green fabric, and some red rickrack. The back is a brown fabric, and you can see I did not iron it very well, but you know what? That's the back. No one sees it. I didn't do the charm. There was supposed to be a button with a bird and a button for a leaf, and I just cross-stitched them, so I'll probably do the same thing for all the other ones that I'm going to do for every season. So I did buy the blue fabric. It's very light blue for the winter one that I'm going to be doing. And this guy over here, part of Pepe's posse stitching, along with the sugar skull I just did. He's got a little rose in his mouth. So I stitched him up on Ada. That was my first time stitching on black, and I understand now. Yeah, I still want to, but we're gonna have to figure out how to do it better. And the white sheet underneath on my lap did not really help. I think it just needs a crap ton of lighting. And anytime I stitch on black, I think it's gonna have to be like outside in super good lighting. So we'll see. I have plans for another black fabric stitch, not in the immediate future, but it is in my head. So I'm gonna have to figure out what to do. Let's fix that because that's gonna bother me. Okay, so we're gonna take a walk to my kitchen now, and you can see where I hung up my coffee Quaker. So I think in the last video I did show you the finished, like in the frame and all that, but here it is. Oh, you're gonna get all kinds of glare. There we go. And there it is. Let's see if I can get you a little more straightened out before the glare comes in. Yeah, it's probably as good as it gets. Yeah, so for the piece for my husband's cousin, I'm basically gonna do, first I drink the coffee and then put a little bit over here, then I do, and then put the things to mirror the coffee slightly indented. And then just around it, probably do like some of these edge kind of motifs, which will be closer, I think. And then if there's any spaces to fill in, I'll fill it in with like the bird or that bird or one of these smaller ones. So we'll see how that works out. What else? I think that's it. I'm gonna sign off now so I can put things away before the baby wakes up. And then when she wakes up, she's gonna be hungry, I'm gonna feed her. And we're gonna go see if we can get some of that stuff at the craft store and at the fabric store for the stocking and for the coffin. So that's it for now. Leave me any questions or comments below. I love when I get comments. I have been watching Flosstube videos. I haven't been commenting though, so I'm sorry. And I'm way behind on them again because every Sunday when I think I'm just about caught up, or at least on Saturday when I think I'm just about caught up, on Sunday there's like 20 Flosstubers that upload videos, and then the week starts and there's just no chance of me getting caught up. So I've been watching, but it's always been bits and pieces, and so there's things that I want to comment on, but it's not like I'm sitting around with a notepad, you know, writing these comments down, or even watching your video in one sitting. It's like I'll watch 10 minutes and then 3 days later I'll watch 10 more minutes. And so any comments that I had just out my head, and then I don't, by the time I'm done with your video, I don't remember what it was. Or if it's like in the first 10 minutes and then I write a comment, and then after a couple of days I watch some more minutes and then I have another comment, and then you're gonna have like 20 comments from me, and I don't know if you're okay with that or if that would be obnoxious. So I'm sorry. The comments really are the best part, the interaction of Flosstube, and I am not participating, but one of these days, one of these years, I'm gonna have my life back in order again. In the meantime, I'm just embracing the chaos and going with it as best I can and participating as much as I can. Especially Flosstube Retreat in New Jersey this May, or this coming May, I should say. Yay! Leave me comments, say hello, or don't. That's okay too. I understand. I'm equally as guilty, but I would love to hear from you guys and how everyone's doing. Any questions, any comments, and I'm just babbling now because I'm trying to remember if I forgot anything, but if I did, oh well. I will try and do another video. Probably won't happen before Thanksgiving. Maybe it will, but probably won't. But at least an end of the year wrap up one before Christmas, or maybe after Christmas. We'll see how it goes, but definitely before the year is out. And then I'll do another one in January that will be about the plans for 2018. I'll try and put my Instagram in the comments below because that really is the most active for me of showing what I'm up to. And we'll just see what happens. Can't plan things, right? Can't plan a broken arm. Okay, love to everyone and happy stitching. Bye.